A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow. I'm Ritwika Gupta and you're watching our very special weekend edition, Super Achievers Making New India, powered by VoiceWhat. Today we'll be putting the spotlight on two super achievers who are making a mark in their respective industries. In the first segment, I'll be deep diving into the world of events with the co-founders of SPALBA, Naveen Gupta and Vishal Puri. And in the second segment, a conversation about green energy with the co-founders of Hygenco Green Energies, Amit Bansal and Anshul Gupta. Listen in. Now, the event industry has undergone a significant transformation, especially over the last couple of years. And SPALBA as a company stands out as it's automating the future of event planning. I caught up with the co-founders to understand about their journey, some of the opportunities and challenges that exist within India's event industry.
The event industry is all about creating unforgettable experiences. But behind the scenes, planning can be a real headache. That's where SPALBA, a SaaS-enabled marketplace for event venues, comes in. SPALBA uses the latest technology to connect you with over 11,000 event venues. Think immersive virtual tours, 3D models, the whole shebang. SPALBA helps you find your dream venue in a flash. Joining us today are Naveen Gupta and Vishal Puri, the co-founders of SPALBA, who take us along their journey of revolutionizing the event planning industry with one click at a time.
Naveen, Vishal, thank you so much for speaking to us today on Super Achievers Making New India. It is an absolute pleasure to chat with you.
Same here. Thank you so much.
So, I think when we talk about the events industry, right, it has gone through a massive change, right, especially in the last couple of years, if I'm not wrong. We had in-person events and then COVID hit, it became all digital, and now I understand it's all phygital. So my first question, would be, for both of you, in fact, really tell us some of the pain points, of the industry, and how are you as a company working to resolve them? So let's start with you, Naveen.
So see, from our standpoint, the biggest pain point is that technology per se has not been incorporated into the entire industry. When we say technology, like for example, the lights have become better, the sound quality has become better, but technology per se, like for example, the tools and all have not been developed from end to end.
Sure.
That's the biggest bottleneck, and I've been into this industry for last 20-25 years. What we say internally is the only thing that has changed is the PowerPoint template has changed from 4:3 to 16:9. So adoption of technology is very, very less in our industry. Though if you look at it, the industry is very, very interesting. And as a matter of fact, event planner's job is the 6th most stressful job in the world.
Right.
Just above that is all the firefighters, pilot, and people whose life is at risk.
Right.
And what we see and why we started SPALBA also was the reason that because there's so much of risk involved, that is where we need to include technology, because the processes and the industry is very unstructured.
Right, absolutely. And I think I completely agree that it is very evident that the industry is, anything but straightforward. It is very complex. Vishal, coming to you, would you like to add to that?
Event industry is not even a recognized industry per se.
Right.
All right. So even the data is difficult to come by. If you ask me what is the size of the event industry, and if you search on the internet, you'll find 5 different estimates ranging from 5 billion to maybe 50 billion.
Sure.
So that is the nature of the unstructured part of the industry. But overall, the exciting part that got me into it was that I saw a lot of opportunity in terms of solving a lot of issues that I saw him struggling with on a day-to-day basis. Yes, it's been a remarkable journey so far, and the feedback that we get from the market has been a proof that we are solving at least some bit of it now.
Sure, and on that note, then tell us about your journey, from idea, from inception, to launch, and also I'm very curious to understand, the meaning behind the name SPALBA. What does it mean? Who came up with that? Vishal?
If I ask you, if you were to do an event, the first thing that you would think is where it has to be done, right?
The venue,
so,
yeah.
but where is the first question that everybody asks when they think of an event? So let's solve that. And even from a budgetary perspective, event venues are probably maybe almost 30-40% of the average cost that get consumed in the event.
Absolutely.
So let's try and solve that problem first.
Yeah.
And that's when we started. It's basically comprised of two words, SPALBA, spaces, and ALBA. And as I told you, we said we'll focus on the venues part first. The spaces came from venues concept.
Okay.
And ALBA was actually the first genetically modified rabbit, which whose genes were modified with the genes of a jellyfish. So that rabbit used to glow in the night, in the dark. And when we were looking at a name, we were, let's combine these two and see if we can come with something. SPALBA kind of resonated with what we're trying to do in terms of, genetically modifying the basic structure of the industry and see if we can make everything light up more and make spaces more visible also in that process. The SPALBA, the whole idea came from that thought.
And today wherever we go, this is the first question, that how did you came up with this name?
Yeah.
So as you asked, the journey's been very, very good. As Vishal said, the technology adoption in our industry has been very minimal.
Yeah.
Thanks to COVID, it acted as a catalyst and things started moving very, very fast. But in event industry, there are three things. So how we divide a complete journey of an event is the pre-event, event, and the post-event.
Sure.
So mostly 90% of the people all across the globe were working on the event bit, where it was all about the attendee management. But the real pains lied when we started planning on the event. So like for example, today if you want to search for a room, there are Make My Trip, there is Clear Trip, there is Booking.com. But if you want to search for a event venue, there is nothing. And venue is the first thing. So anyone in the world, if they start planning for an event, the first thing they block or look out for is the event venue. Hotel kaun sa hoga, kahan par hum karenge. So technically, globally, there is no platform where you can search for an event venue. You can explore as in walk through, you can see what are the dimensions, and you can start planning. So this, we thought that and also venues are like 30 to 40% of the entire budget for an event. So we said, let's crack it, and that is where how the journey started. And it's been amazing 4 years, and what we started was for simply listing of the venues, and now we are giving immersive views and a lot of intelligence and insight to the people if they're coming on our platform.
Right, and just staying with you mentioned immersive experiences, right? And from what I read, the platform also offers, real-time interactivity, among customers and stakeholders. Would you say these are some of the factors, that really set you apart from competition, in this space?
So what we've done is, throughout the journey, there are 5 pillars of our platform. So first one is the search. That anyone coming on our platform, they can search the kind of venues. They'll just have to give the keywords, like if they're looking for banquet halls or maybe stadiums or museum XYZ. So search is the first thing. Then is explore. So because of this immersive technology that we've worked upon, sitting at your home or in office, you can just walk through the venue. Okay. So we've created those digital twins. When we say digital twins, we've completely digitally transform the properties. So like for example, Oberoi Gurgaon has been digitally transformed. So anyone can just walk through, do a navigation from a reception to the ballroom or XYZ, right. Or they can measure, what is the height, what is the length, what is the breadth. The best part is the layouts, etc., which designers generally take a day to plan. These are just downloadable. You can download and start working on it. And then we develop, like if you want to do the setups, then you can do the setups and you can view. So we've given a lot of visualization power to the event planner, and this is where it is helping, because generally to close an event it takes 6 months. You have to go again and again, back and forth, to do the right recce's and site visit, take dimensions. So all these things have come to, say, suppose when it used to take 6 months, now it will take 1.5 2 months.
Right. Vishal, I would like to bring you in here, just picking up from what Naveen said. But, from an idea to now over 10,000 venues, tell me, how did you achieve that, really? What can you tell us about that?
Getting to that number of, 10,000 venues, we actually 11,000 now. And with over 700 digitally transformed spaces available, you can actually explore those spaces sitting anywhere in the world. It's been a phenomenal journey. We have also, one of the biggest things that we did last year was to close a couple of large corporate level deals also, along with which was with Oberoi and the Leela. There were many more in the pipeline. So that actually gave us the confidence that it's not just an idea which was there with us to be solved. It's actually of something that is workable. And now we are actually taking those steps ahead to build the entire ecosystem around that basic foundation that we have laid last year.
Fantastic. Now, SPALBA, is also championing SaaS-based, enabled, smart and sustainable, event planning, right? Tell me, because our show is also watched by a lot of young entrepreneurs, smaller scale businesses. One piece of advice, each one of you, for entrepreneurs who would like to make a mark, in this very highly fragmented but competitive industry. Let's start with you, Vishal.
In most scenarios where you're trying to do something big, you'll have to work it out on your own and say, this is how it'll work.
Right, absolutely. Naveen, one piece of advice for all the entrepreneurs watching the show today.
So I think so the timing is very, very important. Solving anything is not a one-step process. It's a process where you need to keep hard working every day. You need to be consistent on it, and you need to go back and introspect and then again improvise, and then you need to be persistent. So all these things, so as I said, it's not a one-stop process. People generally what they do is they lose heart very early. That's not how it should be.
More power to the both of you. Thank you
so
much for joining us today. It was lovely chatting with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.